చూద్దాం.
Please. I will see that. He should not. Yes, please. He can sit there. You can't say something like that. He will not say anything. That's all. आप बैठिए ना, मैं देख लूंगी. Please. Why you are disturbing your own member? कल्याण जी आप बैठ जाइए. कल्याण जी प्लीज. कल्याण बैनर्जी प्लीज टेक योर सीट. आप बैठिए. I will see to it. Please. No, this is not the way. You can't say something. I will see what to do. And only Saugat Rai's statement will go on record. No such disturbance. All of you take your seat. What is this happening? Why? No. Please take your seat. Please take your seat. It should not. Yes, Saugat Rai ji. Yes.
Madam, now let me formulate my questions.
Please take your seat. What is this
Can
happening?
sovereign
Please go to your seat.
replace bank guarantee?
It should not be something like that.
In the Rafale deal, French
क्या कर रहे
negotiated a mechanism as per which its government would act as guarantor. This was a departure from regular commercial purchase,
Take your seat.
where the winning
This is not
company is
fair.
required by law to furnish guarantees from an
Please.
international bank that can
बैठ जाइए.
be encashed by the purchaser in case deliveries are not made in time after payments have been made.
Yes,
There
Saugat
was
Rai ji, now
significant discomfort on the Indian side
Yes.
when this was being discussed, as the French assurances were not watertight, according to a source.
Yes.
Secondly, among the 7 reasons cited for withdrawing the UPA version of the deal in June 2015 was Dassault Aviation's failure to furnish performance and warranty bonds and its refusal to act as a single point of responsibility. It's unclear how the government resolved the issue of absence of bank guarantee. There was no bank guarantee for such a big purchase, 59,000 crores, and given clear reluctance in the bureaucracy. Moreover, it is not clear whether adequate safeguards have been built into the contract
Yes,
to ensure that India can penalize the manufacturer for violations such as delivery delays or a failure.
Now complete.
और एक paragraph, बस हो जाएगा.
Okay.
You've been very kind, ma'am. Just allow me.
Yes, please.
Why was the cheaper option rejected? This is the most important question. The government's internal notes show that a key reason for scrapping UPA's Rafale deal was that the French aircraft, though initially thought to be cheaper, was turning out to be more expensive than the Eurofighter Typhoon after detailed commercial discussions. So it is unclear why the government selected the Rafale jets for purchase. Indian Air Force had selected the Rafale jets after an elaborate process during EPA regime. But it was not the only aircraft to be selected. The Air Force had also found the Eurofighter built by EADS as compliant with the requirements. देखिए मैडम, ये चीफ व्हिप का हालत देखिए. भाषण में नहीं सकता, इधर आके डिस्टर्ब
आप अपनी बात कहिए.
चीफ व्हिप का हालत देखिए.
वो डिस्टर्ब
यही
नहीं कर
हालत
रहा है.
है बीजेपी का. चोरी का इल्जाम आया, इसलिए चुपचाप.
Yes.
Madam, when the NDA government decided to buy the 36 jets, it did not consider the Eurofighter, which was cheaper as per government's analysis, as per the terms of the previous deal. In July 2014, Germany had even made an offer to NDA government to further reduce the price of Eurofighter by 20%. Eurofighter by the Typhoon. I am reading this is from Economic Times. The date,
Okay.
Happy New Year 2019. Okay, कल आया है. Happy New Year 2019. So let me wind up my discussion by saying the Germans had promised to divert deliveries of Eurofighter Typhoon jets from Britain, Italy and Germany to meet Indian needs on an urgent basis. Madam, so that three questions remain unanswered. Why 1670 crores instead of 526 crores? Why 36 jets in place of 126 jets? Why Reliance Aerospace Defense is chosen as an offset partner when it is a company totally in the red? Fourthly, why not you gave a fresh discussion with Eurofighter? Madam, the money trail goes up to Bombay and Nagpur, where the Reliance Aerospace Defense is situated. That's where the money will come from in the coming election. In the meantime, Meghna, Indrajit will shoot from behind the clouds, leaving the Rakshas Sena here to defend him. That's why I demand a JPC, madam.
Thank you. कालिकेत सिंह देव जी now. हो गया ना?
धन्यवाद, आपने मुझे एक चांस दिया
Yes.
राफेल पर बोलने के लिए. Madam, in the murky world of defense acquisition and defense deals in India, we find that the only casualty and the only sufferers is the Indian Armed Forces, and in particular with the lack of planes, the Indian Air Force. To a question I had asked in 2015, when Mr. Parikar had just become the Defense Minister, out of the sanctioned 42 squadrons for Indian Air Force, only at that time 34 squadrons are functioning because of a lack of airplanes. I understand that now it is estimated that a mere 25 squadrons are in a condition, airworthy condition at the moment. This speaks of the dire need to buy planes. And therefore, when Mr. Jaitley has said that these planes were urgent, they needed to be bought, I have no objection with that. Madam, however, irrespective of the mode and modality taken up by the government to acquire these planes, questions of transparency, questions of probity, and questions of procedure do exist. Madam, it is no secret that when the UPA government was there, these planes to the tune of 126 were to be acquired by the French. What Mr. Jaitley did in his speech or in his reply was what every good lawyer should do, is cherry pick the facts and choose only those facts which suit his argument. What he failed to mention was, madam, that at that point of time, the government of India used the life cycle cost method to acquire defense acquisition. Madam, that particular method had so many flaws and faults, more in terms to do with assumptions, in terms to do with the kind of procedure followed, that I do not blame Sri A.K. Anthony at that point of time to raise doubts on the kind of procedure that the life cycle cost method was being used for. And therefore, I understand his position when he said that I approve the Rafale, yet I have doubts on the life cycle cost method being used. To give you an example, the life cycle cost method was used to justify the purchase of a 2,000 crore mid-air refueler from France only, as against an L2 of only 800 crores of a Russian mid-air refueler. So there were many faults with that. And I am happy that at the end of the whole tenure, between the Finance Ministry and the Ministry of Defense in the UPA tenure, the life cycle cost method was scrapped. And it was in that condition that this government inherited the deplorable condition of the Indian Air Forces. Therefore, madam, I do not even want to go into the credibility of Rafale or Dassault. There are questions which arise about the pricing. Irrespective of the fact that the Supreme Court may or may not have gone into the pricing issue, or even the question of to the extent of the Supreme Court's investigation into the pricing issue, what is a well-known public fact is, madam, that Qatar has bought the same planes at a much cheaper price than what India has. And madam, we in Parliament have a right to ask these questions. There is no argument on whether the Air Force needed the planes. Yes, it needed the planes, it needs many more planes. In fact, the ideal condition is 45 squadrons. However, should we be mute spectators to a deal which smells of questions which need to be asked? Madam, it is in that context that the entire House is seeking information. And all we seek is information. Nobody wants the deal scrapped. Nobody wants details of weaponry to be given out in the public. However, when the Honorable Finance Minister can categorically state that the current deal is 9% cheaper on a basic level versus the UPA deal and 20% cheaper on a weaponized level, and Mr. Saugat Rao in his speech has stated the exact figure of the price of the aircraft, and so did Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Then where is the secret in the pricing? The pricing seems to be available everywhere except coming from official sources of the Defence Ministry. Madam Speaker, the questions still remain on whether the correct process or procedure was used. I don't believe there is a problem in using a government-to-government purchase of defence acquisition. It has been done before, particularly in connection with Russia. However, it's new to the current era, and especially new to the fact that when a current tender has been going on and a L1 has been selected, a RFP was about to be issued. It is at that point the RFP was scrapped and a government-to-government deal was done. Certainly we will ask the question as to why was it scrapped when it is in the process of being finalized after 5, 6 or 8 years of negotiations. Why was it scrapped and a government-to-government deal was done? The Honorable Minister for Defence, I don't know if she is here or not, but she should tell us what was the reason for the urgency. Why couldn't we go ahead with the RFP and go ahead with the contracted amount as was being decided? Number two, madam, the biggest loss to India as a country has been the lack of technology transfer. Madam, irrespective of the amount of deals, planes which were being bought earlier, what was clearly established under the UPA regime was the fact that technology would be transferred and jobs would be created in India, and we would have a capacity to manufacture these planes for the future. This, madam, has been sorely let go of by the current NDA government. And if the difference of pricing is not enough to justify it, and madam, I think the government should come up with a white paper as to why technology transfer was not given. This would have been the biggest boon to the government in the defence manufacturing sector. I remember Shri Narendra Modi ji, in many election speeches and even in Parliament, saying that he wants defence technology to be transferred to India. And in that context, madam, when the BJP-led government let go of the technology transfer, I think we demand an explanation, we are owed an explanation as to why the technology transfer did not happen. Number three, madam, the question of selection of the offset partner. I understand that during the UPA tenure, during negotiations, the Dassault company had expressed reservation about the capacity of HAL to be a manufacturing partner in India. However, madam, we need to look at it from entirety. It is the same HAL which has been manufacturing MiG-21s and MiG-29s from the same French companies. There was no problem with that. A large amount of technology was transferred to India at that point of time. In fact, with the scrapping of the MiG-21 and MiG-29, now there's surplus capacity which is being created in HAL. Part of it is being used to manufacture the Sukhoi 30. Now, if the HAL can manufacture a fourth generation aircraft as the Sukhoi 30, if it could manufacture the 21 and MiG-29, then what was the problem in the HAL manufacturing the Rafale? Thirdly, madam, I completely agree with the Honorable Finance Minister when he said that Rafale was L1 and we went ahead with negotiations. But madam, my question to the Honorable Defence Minister is, when the technology transfer was taken out of the negotiation, did Rafale become L2 or not? My information is that the Eurofighter, without technology of transfer, the Eurofighter was by far L1 in the process. And therefore, my next question would be, why did we not go with the Eurofighter or negotiate with both of them to try and get a better deal for India? Why did we become so hell-bent on getting the Rafale and getting 36 without any technology transfer and without any job creations in India? Madam, again, I will end in 2 minutes, madam. I will end in 2 minutes. while the murky business dealings of defense have scarred the UPA in the past, what is certain now, madam, that it is bound to scar the NDA in the future. This is just the beginning. The defense dealing has only paralyzed the Indian Air Forces and benefited political parties on both ends. With that, madam, I would urge you to have the House have a closer look at this deal. I think this deal deserves transparency. This deal deserves the government to know. The deal deserves transparency, and the people of India should know what went behind the deal and the reason for why it was propagated by the government. Thank you, madam.
अरविंद सावंत जी.
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, देश के राजनीति में ये विषय बहुत गंभीरता से चर्चा हो रही है। आज हमने राहुल गांधी जी को सुना, उन्होंने आरोप लगाए, हमने जेटली साहब को सुना, उन्होंने उस सारे आरोपों का खंडन किया। लेकिन एक बात मन में बार बार आ रही है कि जब हम कहते हैं कि हम पारदर्शी सरकार है, और जब इसकी दो प्रोसेस उन्होंने बताई, एक बताई टेंडर की, दूसरी बताई इंटर गवर्नमेंटल जो एग्रीमेंट होते हैं उसमें हो सकती है। अब इंटर गवर्नमेंट एग्रीमेंट के इन्होंने एक जवाब दिया राज्यसभा के एक सवाल में। उस जवाब में उन्होंने कहा कि रिक्वेस्ट फॉर द प्रपोजल ऑफ आरपीएफ फॉर 126 मीडियम मल्टी रोल कॉम्बैट एयरक्राफ्ट वाज फॉर्मली विड्रॉन इन June 2015 on the contract negotiation has reached impasse. Now that reached impasse, what was that impasse? हमने इसको विड्रॉ क्यों किया? अगर हमने राफेल को विड्रॉ किया था तो फिर दोबारा उसको क्यों दे दिया? और ये जो दोनों चीजें आ रही है वो देखकर फिर संभ्रम निर्माण होता है कि आपने जवाब में दिया हुआ है कि इसको हमने विड्रॉ किया था, और उसके बाद में आप ये लिखते हैं कि टू मीट द इनिशियल ऑपरेशनल नेसेसिटी टू द इंडियन एयरफोर्स 36 राफेल वेयर प्रोक्योर्ड थ्रू IGA। अब बात ऐसी है कि आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी वहां गए थे फ्रांस में, उसके पहले जो मीटिंग होनी चाहिए थी, कैबिनेट कमिटी ऑन सिक्योरिटी ग्रांटेड एन अप्रूवल ऑन 24 अगस्त 2016। जब उन्होंने 2016 में दे दिया, अप्रूवल दे दिया, हमने 2015 में एग्रीमेंट कर दी। अब उसको विड्रॉ भी किया। अगस्त 2015 में हम फ्रांस में जाते हैं, वहाँ ओलंडे के साथ बात करते हैं और कहते हैं कि हम कर देंगे, आपके साथ तय कर लेंगे और आपके साथ 36 राफेल कर ले लेंगे। इसी में सारे देश को प्रश्न निर्माण हुआ है। जो यूरो फाइटर्स थी, आप कहते हैं कि बराबर